Today is June 28th, which means in exactly one day, the AMD Vega Frontier Edition launches. So the question now is, should gamers be buying this card? So first and foremost, this card is not built and intended for gamers on the AMD side, but like all professional cards, it's not that you can't game on it, you actually can, and it should do a really good job gaming. It's just that AMD is not going to be gearing its drivers and support towards the gaming side of things. That being said, until the RX Vega cards actually launch, hopefully in about 1 month, this is the top of the line AMD card that anybody can get, and at $1,000 for the air-cooled variant of it, it's not completely out of the ballpark of the price range for the high-end gaming consumer. So if you're an AMD fan and you are willing to ante up for the $1,000 price point, then you need to ask yourself a few other things to hopefully talk yourself out of buying this card for just gaming purposes. However, if you are a prosumer who is going to be putting this into a workstation build and maybe be doing gaming on the side, but with a focus on professional work for this card, then it may actually be for you, because you'll get great performance for it as it's geared towards the professional side of things, but you will also still be able to do gaming on it. So if you're one of those professionals that's looking into this as an option for your graphics card for a new workstation or just upgrading an existing workstation, then you may be at the right place. First and foremost, for any gaming graphics card or any card that's going to be used primarily for gaming, is the price point. At $1,000, it's pretty high for a graphics card, especially considering the rumors put the card between the 1080 and 1080 Ti's performance, and the 1080 Ti, of course, right now you can find brand new ones for as low as about $700, and you can get really solid add-in board cards from companies like EVGA that have a dual fan, nice cooler configuration for about $720 to $750. So $1,000 for a card that doesn't meet the 1080 Ti's gaming performance is not a good value at all. The next thing to consider is going to be power consumption. The 1080 Ti comes in at about 250 watts as its TDP, and the 300 watt TDP of the Frontier Edition will pull a little bit more power, make it a little bit more power hungry. So it may be a consideration for you. That the 50 watt delta isn't really a big deal. However, if you're already right on the edge of being able to fit a 1080 Ti into your setup because of your power supply, then the Frontier Edition may push it over the edge. Just something to be aware of there. But that's not to say there's no reason at all to pick the Frontier Edition from AMD over NVIDIA's GTX 1080 Ti. In fact, the biggest reason right now may be the mining of Ethereum, because the Vega card is going to just be a behemoth for mining Ether, whereas a 1080 Ti and even 1080s aren't that great. Although for some reason the 1070s seem to do pretty well. So if you're a gamer that also wants to be mining Ethereum on the side, maybe taking your Vega Frontier Edition and just setting it up as a miner while you're away from your computer may actually pay back dividends in the form of Ethereum, because you could get a lot of performance out of that card in a fairly short period of time and possibly even eventually pay for itself. That would be more of an investment, and also you'd have to project a couple months out with the Ethereum market to see if it's actually worth it or not. So to summarize, the Vega Frontier Edition launches in exactly 1 day from the recording of this, although if you're watching it later on, obviously it's already on the market. The price point of $1,000 probably isn't good for anybody that's picking up the card for the sole purpose of gaming. However, if you are a professional on the side and are doing professional work with it, or if you may want to be mining with it, it may actually end up being a better option than something like a GTX 1080 Ti, which comes in at about $300 cheaper right now. And although it's sort of the last consideration because it's not that big of a difference, the power difference between the 1080 Ti at 250 watts versus a 300 watt TDP on the Frontier Edition is worth mentioning, especially for those of you that are already close on your power supply's limits. But ultimately, it is up to you, the consumer, to decide whether the Frontier Edition card is right for you. So I want to know in the comments down below, is this card right for you? And if it is, what is your use case? I'm really curious to see what types of people will be buying this card, and if it's not, are you going to put off an upgrade until Vega launches, or are you going to go for the NVIDIA cards now, if you can find any graphics cards on the market right now, considering all the cryptocurrency things that are going on right now? It's just hard to find cards in general. Let me know in the comments down below. And if you like this content, give me a like, share, subscribe down below. Those help out a lot. You can follow me on Instagram and on Twitter at Hoosier Hardware. They are the same tag for your convenience. And as always, we'll let YouTube queue up a couple more videos for my channel for you to watch. I'm Shane with Hoosier Hardware, and I'll see you guys in the next video.